Single piece flow is a special case of the limited WIP or limited work in progress pattern. We need to consider single piece flow as a special case because it represents a WIP limit of exactly 1. And having a WIP limit, by limiting your work in progress to exactly 1 item, you are in theory achieving the most efficient way of working that a team can possibly have. Because if they've just got 1 item of work in progress, then they can be completely focused on that and deliver value, get that thing finished as quickly as possible. If you've got a work in progress limit of anything above 1, then there's going to be some delay before an item is actually finished and delivered, right? So by limiting WIP to 1, by having that single piece flow, you can get what is in theory optimal flow through a system. That's why single piece flow isn't just a special case of limited WIP. It is a pattern in its own right, because you've got a different intent and a different motivation there. You don't just want to stop things getting out of hand by limiting WIP. What you really want to do is to get the most efficient way of working possible in place. Now, single piece flow is a very difficult thing to achieve. Most teams will, in practice, only be able to limit their work in progress to a small value, but not actually achieve a WIP limit of 1 or single piece flow. And the reason for that is because if you've only got 1 item in progress at any one time, you've then got to find a way of having team members swarm around that single item without getting in each other's way, without being dependent upon the outputs of each other and therefore being obliged to wait, which of course would be waste. You've got to find ways of getting that team to collaborate effectively in order to deliver that 1 item. And that's a tall order, that's a big ask, especially in software development, because the tasks that are associated with a particular item may not break down that way. So with these kinds of limits, these practical limits, you have to end up compromising on the value to which you are prepared to limit your work in progress. 1 may be unachievable. You may just have team members falling over each other trying to get things done. You may not be able to get a team to collaborate effectively around having just 1 item in progress at any one time. You may need 2 or 3. So if a team is waiting on, if a team member is waiting on another team member, they can perhaps work on something else in the meantime. Now, of course, this is all a matter of degree, because if you were to take that principle and extend it, you would just get rid of limited WIP altogether. You know, I mean, you'd end up with 20 things in progress with a team of only perhaps 3 or 4 people. So common sense has to prevail. It's a balance. But nonetheless, the principle is, and this is absolutely serious, the principle is that a team should always aspire towards being able to achieve single piece flow. It might not be something they can achieve in practice, but they should always be looking for a way to achieve that. Because when they are constantly trying to achieve single piece flow, they are finding better ways to collaborate, they're finding better ways to communicate, they are finding more efficient ways of working that can only be good for them and the customer.